I feel like this area is quite shunned. It's quite like looked down upon because of the reputation it's got.
I think it's a decent area. I wouldn't say it's the worst.
Moston Harpurhey was kind of had suffered quite badly with adverse publicity.
I love Harpurhey. I've lived in Harpurhey all my life, so I love it, and really wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Moston is a challenge and an opportunity.
I would describe Moston in one word as diverse, because it certainly is these days.
I was born in Harpurhey, but my dad said I've got to say Harpurhey.
Wherever you live, whatever country you live in, it's not always going to work. You can't always bring people together, but it is important that we have tried.
I love Harpurhey. I've lived in Harpurhey all my life, so I love it, and really wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And I think the assets for Harpurhey really are its people. Yeah, because buildings have come and gone, but people are still the same. It's changed an awful lot, because when I was little, as you're going down to town, the left-hand side of Harpurhey was all terraces, and they all came down in the 60s, 70s. And the council estate was built. But before that, people were everybody knew each other. And one of my strongest memories, I must have been about 20, and was going to the wash house at night. And I used to cut through all these terrace streets to the laundrette, and it'd be 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I'd leave the family in the house watching telly. I never thought about, that's a strange thing to do, it's not safe, or, I might be the only one in that building, but it never felt unsafe. It was lovely.
Moston and Harpurhey, in my eyes, have always been a big part of my life, because I grew up round here. My name's Lou Beckett, and I run the Miners Community Arts and Music Centre in Moston, on the Miners Estate, Teddington Road. Yeah, just off St Mary's Road. Right, here's what my roles are here, right? My roles are barman, cellarman, cook, cleaner, cinema, usher for the cinema, babysitter sometimes. Anything you can imagine within an area within the community is probably what I am in here. Oh yeah, roof fixer, that's another one. Roof fixer, doors, joiner, welder, oh yeah, I'm a welder anyway, roofer, just said that, electrician, yeah, all them sort of little jobs, yeah. Wash pots as well, I'm a pot washer, so yeah, I'm trying to get back the times when I was a kid and we used to enjoy going out. But I want the young kids to get into something that they'll enjoy, if you know what I mean. So that we need to keep this place going. When I was a kid, we never had anything. There was never mobile phones or computers or laptops or anything. It was always like crofts and big. There was a big tip at the back of where I lived in Newton Heath, and just everyone used to play in the tip, and it was just mental. It was just, but everyone was dead happy, just going home covered in crap, covered in rubbish, and our mums used to go mad because there must have been all sorts of chemicals in it. You know what I mean? It was a big tip, but now kids are just glued to the TVs or glued to the laptops or glued to computers and everything like that. And I often think to myself, get out and do something different. The kids that are around here, I say about 1 out of every 10 is a knobhead. In this environment, in the miners, I want them to come in so they can like get into like art and drama and just see something different, music and that sort of thing. Because when I was a kid, there was never anything like that. There was clubs, youth clubs, but it was always like, oh, do you want to do boxing? Or do you want to do football? Because if you come from a council estate or anything like that, when I was a kid, that's all you was, how can I say, that's all you was brought up to do. See, there was a few of us on the estate was into music and art and stuff like that, but was always considered like the outcasts, you know what I mean? And it was like, don't you like football? No, there's something wrong with you then. You know, that sort of thing. Don't you like boxing? Well, a bit, yeah, but, oh, like, no, there's something wrong with you then. So, you know what I mean? Well, I like Kandinsky or Mark Rothko's paintings or something, and you say something like that, and they go, you what? You know what I mean? Well, what about Hans Shearer? No. Like, there's something wrong with you then. So, but I'm trying to get them where you can still like football, but you can still sport, and you can still get into your art and your music and other things, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So, them sort of things when I was growing up were totally different from what they are now. We've had loads of trouble within the past 2 or 3 months, 4 months. Issues are dealt with, but it takes a while for them to be dealt with. Something bad's got to happen first before it's dealt with. And only recently, and I say recently, I mean yesterday, it's started to be dealt with by the police and by housing officials and certain other official bodies. So they've only just started addressing it now, when I've been asking them to address it for the last 3 months. People end up sorting it out themselves, especially around this area. They'll sort it out themselves. If it doesn't get dealt with officially, they'll end up doing it themselves, and they do. They just get on with it. If it gets you down, we all stand there and have a laugh about it, and actually laugh at it when it's like a bad thing, really. And we all just take the mickey out of it. It's just the way it is, isn't it? That's the way it goes.
I've got so many friends I couldn't even count them, because I started off only as a member. I used to come here and just go to the gym and just keep my head down and keep myself to myself. But gradually, as I came here, just made more friends, just doing different things: football, gym, boxing, climbing, table tennis, everything. So it was wicked. And then getting onto that, I became a young leader, and that's when my confidence really peaked. And then after becoming a young leader, I thought I'd like to do this a bit more full time. Started volunteering a bit, and then after volunteering, there was like, oh, you've got the skill set. We think you've got a really good skill set to influence other young people to aspire them to do bigger things. So we'd love you to have a job here. And as soon as I said that, I couldn't say no to it. I love working with young people, and I love influencing them to do bigger and better things in life. So it's personally impacted me massively, and you see the impact on the young people now. It has on them. Some of them, they come on their own and very tight shelling, and give it a couple of weeks, they're just out of the shell and talking to everyone. So places like this, they're really wicked for the young people, really, really good.
We need more stuff where there's like a big park, but it's got...
The community needs to be allowed to be more involved.
So you'll go to a local park now and it'll be hanging, it'll have needles, stuff, everything on the floor, everything will be broke, yeah, people set fire to it. There's nowhere they can go and express themselves. I think when they wreck places, it's obviously because they're angry, because they've got no one to go and really talk to. That's why this building's amazing, because they can come and talk to any staff member. Even if they're not a member, they can always come in and have a little chat with us.
There's a lot that's happened over the years, from the Queen even visiting to somebody getting stabbed and dying over a games console, which happened years ago. So it's different. It's not like most areas you come across. But yeah, it's just, I'd say in one word, unique, very unique. There's a lot of cultures now in Moston as well. So you come to Moston Lane and people have viewed opinions of Moston Lane saying there's very multicultural. I was on the radio and I was on BBC Radio 1, and they were just doing a lot of stuff, and then there's some geezer that phoned in. They were talking about Moston. He goes, from Moston Lane Primary School, As you go all the way up Moston Lane, it's full of blacks and it's full of this and it's full of that, and all you get is just blacks, and then maybe you're Asian in the post office, and then you get your Chinese shop at California Wines, and it's just a barbershop. I just don't see the need in it. Like 20 years ago, I used to walk down Moston Lane, my wife, do my shopping, blah, blah, blah. If he's thinking that, then sure there's got to be quite a few people thinking that. You just feel like an outsider. When you hear comments like that, it's I can't explain the feeling. It's cold, bitter. You think sometimes some of the people are saying it, I've lived in Moston longer than they have, and you think to yourself, it's just it's not a nice feeling, to be quite honest, and to be quite fair, everyone's got their opinions. If you are your own, so in saying that, sometimes you just got to be very delicate in what you say, but in this day and age, a lot of people don't really care what they say and how it affects other people. I think with the younger generations, it's really mixing well, whereas maybe with the older generations, I know, living in Moston myself, like there'll be times where I'll be like, right, mum, I'm going out, and she'll tell me not to go to certain places, because she'll be like, oh, it's racist down there. But like now, you speak to some of the young people, they're like, oh yeah, I was down there, like, for ages the other day, just talking to everyone and doing whatever.
So we've all stood here one Saturday. This lad walks in with his English bull terrier, you know the one with the pink eyes? And she says, well, I thought he said I want my ears piercing. But what he actually wanted was his dog's ears piercing. Because apparently all the fighting dogs now, that's the latest look. So he was serious. He weren't being ironic. I thought to Steve, he looked, oh, that's unbelievable. He was serious, and he goes, hang on. Can you imagine though doing that to any dog, but particularly one of them sort of dogs? Community's completely utterly changed, yeah. And there's not a sort of a community like there was. Well, it's true, isn't it, really? It is a bit true, isn't it, Moston, you know? I'm not saying it was like, you know, there was a problem with gangs and one thing and another, like, you used to have like a bakers, you know, fishmongers, usual scenario it used to have. And now they don't, do they? Really, it's just, you know, you could probably say there's a lot of shops that was empty, yeah, so if you look at it that way, yeah, they have come in and opened a few. Well, obviously a lot now. It is, isn't it? Let's be truthful. Walk into a shop in your own community and you feel like you shouldn't be there. It feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? It seems to be nearly overnight. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it seems to go from 1 minute, you know, there's Moston, and next minute there was, you know, a lot of people from Africa. It's a different culture, isn't it? Used to get a lot of the smackheads who obviously must be out of some next stuff. Used to come in here trying to sell blades, shaving blades, obviously, stuff like that. Cheese on. What? Big lump of cheese. Who? This guy actually got it fingered. Got some cheese, meat. I mean, you just don't do it. You want to buy some meat? Oh, good quality.
It's really interesting. You go around different places in the area and you come across these pockets of positivity, if you like.
Amani Community Choir, it's a project of Amani Creatives. Amani Creatives is an art and culture organization based here in Moston. Here in Moston, for some people like ourselves, we don't have much opportunities to interact with each other, to integrate with each other. So through music, as you know, it's powerful thing, and that's international language, that's universal language. We thought, we'll try that tool to bring people together, to create that opportunity for people to regularly come together in their community.
It's just nice to see the smile on people's faces, knowing that you've cheered them up. Maybe if they've had a bad day, they like music.
When we sing, it's satisfying to see people smiling, kind of what she said, but it's satisfying to see people cheering until dancing to our music, but in the seats.
The people of Moston and Harpurhey are working class people predominantly. We're all proud of that as well, I think. When you live in there, you don't think anywhere's rough. You just live there, and it's your place, it's your thing. And I think because I lived in Moston, I've pretty much lived in Moston all my life now. From being a kid right up to now. I think because I lived there, you don't sometimes see the deterioration either of an area because you're just involved in it. All I can say is, when you see when you live with your little kid your brother or your sister or your son or whatever, and you don't see them growing up in the sense that you don't notice the change because it's a daily thing, it's a gradual thing. And then all of a sudden you turn around and someone goes, God, your lad's got big. And all of a sudden he's 21 and 6'2". But you've not noticed it as such because it's just a gradual thing. And I think that's the same with Moston. It's changed gradually over the last 10 years to represent the people that are living there. It really annoys me that, they do them documentaries and they're sort of like, just basically taking the piss, like they go around and interview people, like that wishy-washy one that they had in Harpurhey. And they just portrayed the people as being thick and ignorant. And people aren't like that in Moston. And that's the kind of thing that annoys me. So I'm glad you're doing this. Because I want it to be more positive. We need to get the message out that Moston's all right. Just the politicians can forget about us because people don't make a fuss. So I'm getting all political now, but we need to get on our soapboxes and let everybody know what Moston's really like.
I want people to come out their houses and not sit in front of the TVs, the 52-inch TVs with the cheap beer from Tesco's.
That's what I want for Harpurhey. I want us to be proud of it.